Yo, what is up? Today I wanted to make a video about the flow state and how you can use it in Apex Legends. You might not recognize the term flow state, but I know you recognize the feeling. It is also commonly referred to as being in the zone or clutch mode, and it's when you feel fully immersed and focused on the task at hand, with time seeming to slow down, no negative thoughts or emotions, and the rest of the world falling away. It doesn't always happen that profoundly in Apex Legends. I think the best way I can put it to Apex players is that feeling when you're at the very top of your game, playing at your best, making all the right decisions and not double checking yourself for a second, and most importantly, fully focused on Apex and nothing else. You can enter this zone for whole sessions, minutes, or just a few seconds during a key clutch moment. Flow state is your peak form and very satisfying to achieve and be in, even described as the pinnacle of happiness for humans. It's not just video games either. You may have felt it playing sports, doing homework, art, exercising, or almost any other activity you can think of. Getting into flow state is extremely fun, and for me is the reason I still play video games. Not to mention its benefits to improvement are massive. Research on flow state says it increases productivity and motivation by around 500%. and creativity by 400 to 700%. Whether your goal when you get on Apex Legends is to play your best, improve, have fun, or most likely all three, getting into flow state is by far the best way to do it. The only problem is consistency getting into this elusive state every time we get on the game. Some days you're in the zone, hitting all of your shots and making all the right plays. It feels like you just can't lose. But other days you're not, and you're left feeling frustrated because you know you can be playing so much better than you are. I promise you, if you can get into flow state the majority of the time you play Apex, you will improve faster than anyone else you know. And I can almost guarantee you can go from a bronze player to a masters player in a matter of just months. That's really why I wanted to make this video. And for the rest of it, I will be going over how you can get into flow state, tips and tricks, and how to stay in flow state once you're in it. The first and probably most important thing you need for getting into flow state is confidence. A big part of the enlightening feeling of flow state is that you are not double thinking when you make decisions. Your mind simply decides what you do and your body executes it. For this to be possible, you first have to be fully confident in your abilities. The biggest problem most players have with confidence is when they are in a fight with a good player, they believe that player is better than they are and will beat them. This kind of mindset will ruin your chances of getting into a flow state, and avoiding any kind of these self-limiting thoughts will help to push you into it. One big thing you can do to increase your confidence is to not compare yourself to others. Thinking that just because you are a platinum player and your opponent is a masters player, you will lose is a bad thing. For one, we all know that rank placements and badges don't tell the full story when it comes to skill. And for two, you are fully capable of beating that player, no matter who they are. So there's absolutely no reason to put yourself at a disadvantage before the fight even starts. Having the thought that you are capable of being good at Apex and knowing that you can play how you want to play is the very first step to entering flow state. Another huge thing for entering flow state is removing distractions. This is absolutely crucial if you want to be consistently getting in the zone and playing your best. I know I mentioned that your mind has to be focused on only one task to stay in flow state, and distractions are the main thing that cause it not to be. Probably the biggest distraction for most of us is our phone. Personally, I remove my phone as a distraction every time I play. I put it on do not disturb and then put it behind me so I can't see it. This completely removes it from my mind and allows me to focus better. Research has shown even having your phone in sight can be distracting, so I recommend putting it somewhere you can't see it. Another big source of distractions are physical distractions. It's important that you are comfortable and relaxed in your setup or where you are in the real world. Having a headache or some other physical problem that is distracting you will make it way harder to access a state of flow. Obviously, there's a million different distractions that could pop up when you start playing. The point is to minimize them and not have any when you start out. The last thing I want to mention with distractions is doing things in between games. When you pick up your phone or do something else between games, it gets your brain thinking about other things, which can carry over to the game. So generally, it's good to limit what you are doing in between games. I'm not saying you just have to sit there silently and wait for the next game to start. It's just important that I mention it so when you do achieve a flow state, you can do it for a longer period of time. Going hand in hand with flow state is a state of positivity. When your mind is in flow state, it is also in a state of positivity. You never think, I can't do this, or I'm not good enough for this. And that means getting into flow state requires positivity as well. It might sound cringy, but staying positive and having a positive mindset will help you play better and definitely help in achieving a state of flow. If you feel yourself getting frustrated or upset, take a moment to breathe and remind yourself that you are playing for fun and to improve and get better, not to win or impress anybody else. Only then will you best be able to achieve a state of flow and therefore be playing your best. In a video about flow state, it's almost impossible not to mention ego. Ego is against everything that flow state is for. And in order to achieve flow state, you have to detach yourself from your ego, at least partially. How do you actually do that though? In Apex, the big problem is that the end goal of the game is winning. And when the ego gets caught up in the fact that it's either win or lose, flow state is then not possible. Overall, mindset is super important if you want to consistently get into flow state, and having a growth and improvement mindset is definitely better than having a win or lose mindset. In a win or lose mindset, you get nothing out of the game if you do not win. You're constantly worried about making mistakes instead of being creative and trying new things. And you're worried about what other people think of you instead of what you think of yourself. Entering a flow state is so enjoyable because all of this just disappears. There's no thoughts of winning, losing, what people think, the rewards or consequences, or worrying about mistakes. Everything else falls away and you are only focused on the task at hand. Lastly, in order to access flow state, you need to play the game for the right reason. You have to actually want to play and enjoy doing it. If you are not, your chances of accessing flow and playing at your best is pretty much zero. If you find yourself not motivated or not wanting to play, that's okay, don't do it. Take a break and do something else or play another game. No one can do one thing forever and not get bored of it. Even the top athletes and performers who get into flow state the most out of anyone take breaks and do other things. It's very common to see an athlete playing a sport outside of the one they play professionally because they understand they can't burn themselves out and still expect to play at their best and access flow state. The beautiful part of flow is that getting into it requires passion and motivation, and it doesn't happen all the time, but when it does, it is one of the most satisfying and best feelings ever. I really hope after watching this video, everyone has more success in achieving a flow state. It's pretty much a superpower to be able to get into it consistently, and definitely one of the most important things to understand if you want to play your best and improve faster in Apex Legends. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and check out my channel. I have a variety of videos on improving in Apex Legends that I know would help you out, as well as other Apex related content. Have a great rest of your day and thank you for watching.